Welcome to the Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching YouTube channel, where we focus on helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, substances that I once struggled with. In today's video, I want to address a comment left by one of our community members that I find extremely relatable and that I think is going to help out a lot of people who are struggling to quit. The comment reads, "Hey doc, I'm now 3 weeks sober from a 4-year addiction to cannabis, and I'm still feeling very unmotivated and tired throughout my days. I thought quitting would make me more motivated again, but I still feel lazy and fogged. Any ideas how I can get more energy? I've been trying to go to the gym consistently and eating better, but I just still feel like a lazy fart." That's what their comment read. And today I want to focus on a common mistake that I made and that I worry this person's going to make as well too. And that's holding on to expectations when it comes to quitting a substance. In today's case, the substance being cannabis. And I think there's two levels to these expectations. The first level is the expectations that this individual has. And that is that quitting smoking weed for whatever reason is suddenly going to change our lives. It's suddenly going to make things better. So I'm going to quit weed and suddenly I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to feel more motivated. My relationships are going to get better. My finances are going to get better. And all of these amazing things are just going to happen. And there's a reality to that situation. And that reality is when you quit smoking weed, I can guarantee you one thing. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. In your life, in that moment when you first quit, is going to look very similar to your life the day before you quit, except you're just not smoking weed. That is the only expectation that you should go into quitting with when it comes to early sobriety. Now, in the case of this individual, I think they said three weeks into the quitting process. I would encourage them that's very, very early on. We're talking about a 4-year addiction compared to 3 weeks. The time it takes for our endocannabinoid system to rebalance, the time it takes for our dopamine levels to rebalance, I tell people minimally, you don't want to make any judgments until you hit at least that 90-day mark. And a lot of people in the science world of addiction recovery would argue that you don't want to make any judgment for up till the first year that you've been sober, because that's really how long it takes your brain to heal from a substance use disorder, whether it's to porn, nicotine, energy drinks, or cannabis. It's about a year. So I would say, one, you're very early on into this process, and two, you have to let go of those expectations that you were suddenly going to become more motivated. And then we have to dig a little bit deeper and ask ourselves, what is it that's standing in the way of the motivation? Is there a serious depression going on, maybe related to other aspects of your life outside of the normal anhedonia phase that a lot of us will experience when we first quit a substance? Maybe that needs to be addressed with a therapist. Is there a imbalance within the body? Is there a thyroid dysfunction? Is there a vitamin D, a vitamin B deficiency? Is there something that we should be looking for in this person's health history and asking ourselves, hey, does this describe some of that low energy, that lack of motivation, or that depression? Now, when you're 3 weeks into it, I would say this is just normal withdrawal symptoms. I wouldn't think anything of this, and I would say, yeah, you're still going through the withdrawal. And I would say, give it another 3 weeks and let's reassess. Give it another 3 months and let's reassess how you're feeling, because I think this person's going to be doing much, much better. Of course, in a case like this too, I would want to look at other lifestyle factors, right? What are they doing outside of not smoking weed? What types of physical activity? What food are they eating? What's their sleep regimen look like? What's their relationships look like? All these other factors could play a role. And there's a cold reality about quitting. It's going to take time for change to happen. It took time for us to become addicted. It took time for this individual to get stuck up in this 4-year addiction. And I would just say it's going to take time to reverse that. And that's okay, because really, guys, with time, things heal. So that's the first set of expectations that you got to let go of, because if you go into this thinking all these positive things are going to happen and then they don't happen, you're going to relapse. And that's what occurred to me time and time again. I'd quit. I'd have all these expectations that all this great stuff was going to happen. It wouldn't happen, and then I would relapse. And now, being into sobriety for about five years, a little more, I can tell you, man, it took 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and things are really starting to happen now for me. But think about 3 weeks compared to 5 years. And I can't wait to see what the 10-year mark looks like. Remember, quitting isn't about how you feel tomorrow or even next week. It's about how you feel next year. It's about how you feel 10 years from now. This is a long-term investment. It's a long-term play. The second set of expectations that I would argue we have to let go of, and this is a more positive note, would be the expectations that it's going to be bad, or that we're going to have horrible withdrawal symptoms, or that we're really going to struggle in our sobriety process. A lot of people don't quit smoking weed because they're very worried about the withdrawals that they've heard of. They're very worried that life isn't going to be better sober, that life isn't going to be doable without cannabis. And you have to let go of those expectations as well. Even my content is guilty of this. I'll make videos, a timeline for quitting smoking weed, and you're going to feel the peak withdrawals at 3 days, and at 2 weeks is going to be a prime moment for potential relapse, and again at 3 months. I don't know for a fact that that's how you're going to feel. You might quit smoking weed and you might feel the best you felt in the first 3 days than you felt in the last 10 years, right? And that's a really, really positive thing. On the flip note, your peak withdrawal symptoms might not hit you in the first 3 days. They might hit you at the 14-day mark, the 16-day mark, the 30-day mark might be your hardest day. I don't know what it's going to be for you. No one knows the answer to that. And I know for me, I would go into watching these YouTube videos, these timeline videos, and if I didn't follow that timeline exactly, I'd say, oh my God, I'm different. This doesn't apply to me. What's happening? And then I would relapse. I'd say, wait, I wasn't expecting to feel withdrawal symptoms on day 10. They told me it'd be done after day 3. What's happening? Something's wrong. Something's different. I'd freak out, and then I would relapse. Or I'd be feeling really, really good in some instances when I would quit. And I'd say, oh, maybe weed isn't a problem for me. Maybe this isn't a big deal. I feel good. I got this. So I can go back to smoking again, right? So let go of any expectations that you have. And I would encourage you, the only expectation that you should go into quitting with is that you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and that tomorrow is going to be exactly like today, except that you're not smoking weed. And over time, that not smoking weed is going to give you an opportunity to start to work on all the other things that we talk about in our videos, the goals that you set, your sobriety goals, which go far beyond just quitting weed. Maybe they're business oriented, maybe they're financial oriented, maybe they're relationship oriented, maybe it's mental health, maybe it's physical health oriented. It varies from person to person. In the pinned comment below, I have some very exciting stuff. I have a free 7-step guide to quitting smoking weed. It's a very easy guide to interpret, 7 steps. And I've put together a community where we can come together in a controlled environment and talk about quitting nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. And this community is going to provide accountability. It's going to provide friendship. It's going to provide support to one another, and it's a community of people that all have similar interests, that are all trying to achieve similar things. And what are we trying to achieve here at Addiction Mindset? We're trying to achieve sobriety, but that's not what this is about. This is about becoming obsessed with the life that you want, using your passion, your grit, your commitment, and your drive that you've been putting into addiction to build the life or further foster the good life that you deserve. That's what this is about, and that's what this community is going to be about. So check that out. There is a pretty cheap cost to entry, and guys, that's because these platforms cost money to run, and it's to weed out anyone who's not serious, but I can guarantee you it's affordable for everyone. All right, guys, I'll see you in the pinned comment below or the video description.